With Rangers in dire need of some transfers this summer, I went through the Premier League free agents and I've selected 10 that could join Rangers now. Obviously, there is the likes of Yuri Tillemans, there is N'Golo Kante, there is Roberto Firmino, there is other players of that calibre that, let's be honest, as much as we are a big club, we cannot afford to bring these players in. And to be honest, there's probably even a few people on this list that we can't really afford to bring in. But I haven't put those sort of calibre players. We kind of put like ones below that, or players we've been linked with, and players I think are realistic that we can get. I don't think there's anybody on this list that I look at and go, that's completely out the question. There might be one or two, but out the 10, I think these are all realistic possibilities. And especially because they're free agents. So like, yes, you still have to pay like signing on fees and other big fees because guess what? There's no transfer fee to pay. But we have to kick off with number one. That is Rhys Nelson. Again, people will probably think this is absolutely ludicrous, me picking Rhys Nelson, but at the same time, this guy's no signed a contract with Arsenal. I rate Rhys Nelson. I just don't think he's got a future at Arsenal. He's not near the level of Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, but I think he can definitely do a job. He's 23, seems like he's been around for years. This season he scored a bunch of crucial goals for Arsenal coming off the bench, most notably against Bournemouth. And I think, why not? Like, and even if we can't sign Rhys Nelson, right? Say he re-signs Arsenal, is it illegal to attempt to go in for a loan? Why not try a loan for Rhys Nelson or Florian Balogun, who's been absolutely lighting up League One? I think that could happen. Up next though, we have got Jordan Ayew. He is of course the younger brother of Andre Ayew, who I think still plays for Swansea City, but I've always rated Jordan more. He's out of contract now. He is 31, which again, not exactly fantastic, but you know what? We need forwards, and I've included quite a lot of forwards on this list, and I feel like why not go for him? 31, you can do it in the Premier League. I think we would be able to afford this guy's wages. He's not going to be on an absolute shit ton, so why not? And up next we've got a player that was actually linked with a mega move to Rangers, and it is Asmir Begovic. He is 45 now, he's been around the block. We are linked with signing him, of course. That was more in January, I guess, but we do need a goalie. Of course, we've been linked with Butland. And I mean, who would I rather go for between Butland and Begovic? I would rather go for Jack Butland, if I'm being honest. But again, would I be completely against the idea of signing Asmir Begovic? No, I think he could definitely do a job for Rangers. He's 35. He's not exactly done in terms of goalkeeping age, and I think he would be a massive improvement on what McGregor and McLaughlin can offer us right now. But would he come to be second fiddle in McCrory? Probably not. But would he be second fiddle to McCrory? Only time will tell. Moving to a bit more of a defensive-minded player, we've got Angelo Ogbonna of West Ham United. Didn't think this guy was 34, which doesn't really bode well for him, but it could be a 1-year deal. I'm not saying to sign up to fucking a 5-year contract because you don't do it with 34-year-olds. But again, I feel like this guy could come in and be a pretty solid option to depend on at the back because he's very good, Ogbonna. And yeah, pretty much nothing more to add. He has had a few injury problems like his ACL and all that stuff, but he could get brought in, but I'd rather sign somebody younger. Just put him on the list for the sake of it. Up next, we have got Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Now, probably the most unrealistic option on this list, but there is a trend that would make Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain a pretty funny signing for Rangers because he's a former Arsenal man. He loves an injury. It would be like Aaron Ramsey 2.0. It really would be. But Chamberlain, of course, is 29, which is mad because it seems like this guy has been about since the dawn of fucking time. I remember playing FIFA. I mean, we're talking like 12 years ago, more, like fucking probably 14 when the guy was like 15, 16. He was on the game, man. Mad, absolutely mad. And I think he'd be a really good signing for Rangers, but it would be a lot of wages for a guy who's going to get injured. So if he could stay fit and he joined us, it'd be brilliant. But realistically, you should not touch this guy ever. But then again, you know, you've seen Ramsey, Oxlade-Chamberlain is far more injury prone than Ramsey, but we've seen Ramsey at Nice this season play a lot of games and yeah, been really good for them. Up next, we have got Manuel Lanzini, who of course plays for West Ham. And I tell you what, right, every time I do a football manager or a FIFA save or whatever, and I'm not Rangers because of course this makes it, they always sign him. Whether it be on a free or whatever, and it's always a free at the end of this season, 2022-23, they always get him on a free, right? I'm not saying it's written in the stars, I really do rate Manuel Lanzini. I think he's a pretty good player, and I think he's about 29, so he would definitely be able to do a job, absolutely. And if you remember his goal against Tottenham a few years ago during COVID season, I thought he was pretty good, but again, maybe a wee bit unrealistic. Number 7 is definitely not unrealistic because we were linked with a mega move for this guy, and it is Tom Davies. Now, the question is hair, the question is dress sense, and he's not really been that good for Everton this season. But then again, nobody's been that good for Everton this season, so you can't exactly berate some guy for how bad Everton have been. Because, well, you can, because I mean, it's a team effort, but like Nathan Patterson's a part of that Everton team, and I think Nathan Patterson's quality. So if you look at it like that, what way do you really want to spin it? Who knows? Up next we have an absolute machine in Adama Traore. Now, if you're talking about a guy that suits Rangers probably even more than Oxlade-Chamberlain, it is a guy who has got pace but absolutely zero finishing ability. This guy, of course, he came through Barcelona, he went to Wolves, he went back to Barcelona, and now he's back at Wolves. So he did a lot of chopping and changing, but to me, he is a difference maker. I feel like this season he's pretty much done hee-haw. I don't really know what he did in the last 6 months as Barcelona loan last year, to be honest, but before then I feel like Adama Traore was like a big massive fucking player, man, getting talked about a lot, scoring goals, getting assists, even though his finishing product was still awful. But I feel like he'd be a decent signing for us. And is he at the realms of possibility for Rangers? Who knows? Wolves' kit, also sponsored by Costa. Maybe this deal could happen, but realistically, probably not. Up next, we've got Daniel Amartey, centre back for Leicester City. And look at him, look who he's marking there. Former, well, he's got the ball, but Edward is up his ass, former Celtic man. But Daniel Amartey, I'm not really too fussed on this guy, to be honest. I've kind of just included him on the list because we needed 10 players, but again, he could probably come in, he'd do a decent job, and yeah. But the weird thing is, some of these clubs obviously probably getting relegated, and because of that, like because of Amartey, it's not really going to change anything because they're still leaving on a free. It's not like we've been talked about Joe Aribo. If they get relegated, well, Southampton are relegated, you probably get them for a cash cut price. But anyway, finally, Diego Costa. Would you not love to see Diego Costa in an Old Firm, getting sent off, throwing about 10 headbutts and just losing his dome? I think that would be quite spectacular and quite epic, if I may say so myself, guys. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video. 10 Premier League free agents Rangers could sign. Again, not completely serious, all this. I mean, I guess we could sign. I mean, I don't think it's out of the possibility, like anybody on this list, it's completely impossible, because the way I look at it is we fucking signed Aaron Ramsey, right? And he was on 400 grand a week. Are any of these guys going to be pushing 100 grand? That obviously is out the equation for Rangers, but if I'm looking at it, no. Diego Costa is peak, yes. Chamberlain, yes. But the rest of them, probably not. So why the fuck not, man? Get Tom Davies and Begovic, the only two we were linked to on the entire list, then get them in. Get them in my belly. But until next time, 10 Premier League free agents that could join Rangers. Leave your thoughts down below. Or am I talking pish as per usual?